Welcome to Comics with Dan. I'm going to review the Displaced number 4. This has been one of my favorite recent pulls. It's just been such a great story. It does a really good twist on the sort of suspense mystery type thing, and I'm absolutely loving it. I think that that Ed Brisson really has a great story in mind. Finally get to issue 4. You can kind of see the direction he's going with it, and I think that he's going to just knock it out of the park on issue 5. I really enjoyed the pencils by Luca Castellanguida. The feeling you get from it is very similar to a Jorge Corona, Daniel Warren Johnson type that I've really been enjoying lately, where the lines aren't necessarily as precise or as detailed, but they give you a lot of movement and allow for the action to really come through. And I think that this was a really good one to have that type of art for, because this one's pretty action packed. D. Cunnif's colors have been fantastic. I think this is probably the darkest colors he's used so far in the series, or at least it seems that way to me. And I think it really matches the tone of the book because, without adding any spoilers, I'll have a spoiler section a little later, but without having any spoilers, our characters are kind of at the bottom of their story right now. I do think it's really interesting because when you talk about penultimate issues, you usually see that as sort of the high point of the story. But when you look at how the arc of this story has gone, this is almost sort of a low point. You could argue that it's at the top of the story in terms of excitement, but these characters are lower than they've ever been in their lives, and it's very apparent in this issue. So Hassan Otsmane Elhau is absolutely crushing the letters again. You can just feel the voices from these characters, and a lot of times you can kind of easily feel or hear the voices from characters if there's been a TV adaptation or movie adaptation or something like that. None of these characters have had that, yet I can really hear their voices in my head just based on how the lettering is done. Not to mention the sound effects that Otsmane Elhau puts into these books. He's such an incredible letterer, and I love it. If you want to avoid spoilers, then skip over this section. You have Emmett, who's trying to play savior to everyone, or even just keep everyone together and close, which is definitely a real trauma response, where you want people that are experiencing a similar trauma to huddle together and be together to support each other. You have Harold, who committed suicide because he didn't feel that he could, handle this scenario. Although I have a theory that that's not actually what happened, because I think Tavis has something to do with that. But we can see in issue number 5. Then you have Gabby, who is just so heartbroken over the loss of her family, which those first few pages just crushed me. They were unbelievable, and it was just such a real response. So she ends up trying to go out and find her family, just trying to get back what she had lost. You have Tavis, who is resorting to this crime, and he's basically using this traumatic scenario to justify these awful things that he's doing. Doug and Dale, they end up going their separate ways and agreeing to meet later, and they kind of just go by faith that they're not going to disappear. And so you get all these different responses to trauma, and it's really just kind of an interesting way to look at things. A lot of times I think that these stories where you have this supernatural sci-fi stuff going on, it's all about, well, how do we solve this? How do we fix it? And all these people are just trying to survive and get through, which I think is a really interesting take on the story. The Displaced number 4 is out this Wednesday, May 15th. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's just a really fantastic book. I think that number 5 is going to bring it home and knock it out of the park. Make sure you like the video, Make sure you subscribe, check out these other videos, and thanks for watching.